Alright, the fuselage. This is actually an updated version of the fuselage. They come in two halves. They're going to be 1/8 inches wide. First thing you want to do is there is remember, this is a semi-symmetrical airfoil, so there's a top and bottom of this fuselage. So the first thing I'm going to do is for the fuselage, just be aware of it. See, I've got it together. We want to pull these in half because we want to make a mirror image. We want to mark out the battery cutout. As you can see, there's the bottom of the airfoil here, and the top of the fuselage. So what I do is I just lay them out mirror image, mark it to the top so I know where they're at. And then the next thing you want to do is go in and draw out the cutout that we're going to be doing for the battery bay. And this starts at a 1/2 inch back from the leading edge. I'll lift the pieces in here. And it goes 3.5 inches, and then it's 1.5 inches down from here. It's on the plans. So easiest way to do this is to take a straight edge and go from the center to there, draw you a center line, because you're going to need that center line anyway to cut out for the cam as well. Again, I've got center of that mark, and I've drawn a center line on the inside right there. And then you can mark down 3.5 inches for the battery bay width, and then 1.5 inches down from the shortest point. This just happens to be right about a 1/2 inch from the center line down. Okay. So once you get that marked out, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go and work on the flip side, and we're going to install the side spars. I've already done this one here. And the side spars are going to be a couple of spars that are going to be 5.5 inches long, and these are going to go right in the center, and they're going to start right at about an 1/8 inch back from the tip of the nose. So real simple, just like installing the wing spars. I just put a little pencil mark there and a pencil mark there to kind of give me an idea where I want it. And then I'm just going to use our straight edge with our one click down. And we're going to cut it and start just a little bit short of that, and we're going to bring it to right at 1/8, about 1/8 of an inch. Next we'll flip it around this way so we can actually see where 1/8 of an inch is at. There we go. And then we're just going to cut our spar slot. I'm going to bring that to, if I can see my marks there. There we go. And satisfied with the cut. Now we're going to just use the, just like we did with the CA, we're going to put this spar in here. And we're going to start at about a 1/2 inch. You might just always make sure that you got your slot cut long enough. This looks like it might be just a little bit short. And just using thick CA. Go in there. And then, let's go start from the nose here so you know about where 1/8 of an inch is. There we go. And insert the spar. And then what you might do on top of that is just kind of wipe it in. Make sure the spar is in there all the way. There we go. And then just squeeze the halves together, let it dry. The next thing we do is we're going to flip it over and we're going to cut out the battery bay. Okay, cutting out the battery bay is really not that difficult. Just a couple things we need to do. First off, double check and make sure you've got the cutout at the right spot. Okay, we did the mirror image and we cut it out and we marked it. Next thing that makes it easy to do is we're going to cut these things 5/8 of an inch deep. So I just went on top and I drew my lines 5/8 of an inch perpendicular to those, and then it helps to have like a flexible ruler. You can pick these up at the Wally World, really cheap, and then just draw a line there so you know what your depth is. The next thing it helps is on these blades here, and you need sharp blades to do this. It's going to take sharp blades. Is mark up, make you some marks on the blade up 5/8 of an inch on the blade. Okay, same with here. I've got one here partially used because it needs to be a little bit shorter. And again, I've done the same there. Marked it up 5/8 of an inch. Looks like I've lost one of my marks out here. And those will help you get the blade depth done accurately, or the battery depth done. Now the first thing is we're just going to cut the outline, and we're just going to cut it perpendicular to it. We're going to take our blade, and we're going to take it down to our 5/8 inch mark on our blade. There. And now we're going to do the same thing on the back. Now, just going to cut a straight line just to get a cut start that's not quite 5/8 of an inch. We're kind of close. And because we can't get this knife in there like that, that's when a blade like this that's already marked comes in handy, and then we can simply set it in the slot. Let's see what I'm doing here. And I'm just going to run the blade down the entire length of this cut here. This is the bottom of the battery cutout, so we want this to be down to our 1/8 of an inch. I'm sorry, 5/8 of an inch. Until we get in there. Okay, so we got that one done, 5/8 of an inch. Now, I'm going to cut like kind of a checkerboard pattern. I already got that right, didn't I? No. So what we're going to do here now is we're going to cut just a series of lines, and the same thing, just cut it almost through, about 3 lines works pretty good. And then on those 3 lines, very simply, we're going to take our blade, and those 3 lines we cut, and we'll do the same thing. Put that depth down to the same 5/8 of an inch. Okay. Now the next one. Down to 5/8 of an inch. And try to get them as close as you can down on the 5/8 of an inch, because that's going to make it so you don't have to trim up the wall that much. And you can measure battery pack. I'm using 850 milliamp packs, these tattoos and nanotechs, and they're about 1 1/4 inch wide is what I'm making this. Now we've done lines that way. We're going to make some vertical lines doing the same thing. We can use this blade, go down 5/8 of an inch. Okay. Now that we've got all those cuts 5/8 of an inch, we can go to the top, and our blade set and the depth. Make sure we're going, perpendicular 9 degrees down in there. Make this cut out. What we're going to do, let's see, this will allow us to take these first ones out here. Go. And then all we simply have to do is we can kind of start using this as a guide. Keep our blade flat. Cut the next ones out. They'll pop out really easily. On those. And of course, and then again using the guide. Just cut, get this one out. And there. And our battery base cut out now. You have to do some final fitting. Just put it together, and it should be wide enough that your battery should fit in there kind of snug. Use that. Now the next thing we're going to be doing is doing the camera cutout on the nose.